the force of technology and development is cracking the current old system.
Even exacerbated by the COVID years, because now you have this very rigid structure that is already ineffective at preparing kids for adulthood. And then now we're taking the already ineffective system that is in person, personal at least, and then we're taking it and we're shifting it to an online environment. And now, okay, we have to be at this class, you have to be at this class, we have to be at this class. And then you're also not in the halls, you're not surrounded by teachers that could possibly be mentors. All of those things that come within your high school experience and all of that, it's very rigid. It's like, okay, you have to be on this Zoom call and then you press this link to be on this Zoom call. And in between your classes, guess what? You get to see your dad in the kitchen for the fourth time getting coffee. And in between classes, instead of talking with your friends and everything like that, you get to get off of the Zoom call and turn around and look at your dad shirtless getting coffee for the fourth time because he works at home. It was really, really exacerbated by the whole COVID thing. And with this lack of preparation for adulthood has led the parents to be apprehensive or fearful of what is going to be their child's future and what they are going to be doing with their life.
Fear is a very good word for that, because fear is panic from just not knowing what direction to turn and then not being even equipped with the most basic tools to figure out what direction they maybe should turn. And it's very tough because parents during COVID were either laid off of work, which is really hard, or their work changed dramatically as well. And because of that, just a bunch of household responsibilities shifted around, multiple other kids. And then if there are multiple other kids with different ages, and then there's issues with childcare. And then if any of the kids has, gracious forbid, any of the kids have special needs. And now it just turns into this whirlwind of chaos. And because there's all this chaos, it's difficult to support your child's education. And not only is it difficult to support their education, but the last thing you're thinking about, you're just trying to get them to graduate. Okay, well, what are they going to do after that? Because you're just trying to make it to whatever graduation date is that year. And I think it was good in a way though, because I think a lot of parents woke up during this time. They realized, one, the high schools were just teaching a bunch of nonsense, to be perfectly honest, that waste kids' time. And they're like, what are they teaching you? What is that? And then there was just a complete absence of anything useful.
That was something that really blew my mind, talking to all the parents, that exact sentiment of like, now everybody's at home, right? So the parents are at home, the kids are at home, and more now than ever in their life, the parents have been involved with their schoolwork because they're actually physically listening to the conversations if they don't have headphones in and everything like that. And even if they do have headphones in, you can hear what your child is saying, at least if there's a discussion or anything like that. And be like, what are you learning?
What are they telling you?
Or just in general, like, why are you learning that?
But how is that a good use of time?
Yeah, exactly. Like, why are we learning this subject? How is that useful? And more than ever, parents have been more involved. And this has been shown by the recent uptick in the amount of homeschoolers there have been. There has been a mass exodus from the high school system, from the public school, from the private school education system. And more now than ever, parents are being like, look, I think we can do a better job here.
And I think what people will say in response to that is, oh, I can't believe that. But when you see what a lot of these parents will tell you that they saw and that they heard, you go, yeah, you know what? They can, because anybody could, because of the things that they were learning. And I'm sorry, but I know a lot of people say, well, you don't always have to learn things that are useful. I will push back on that. If someone is telling you that you need to learn something and they cannot answer the question, why is this not useful? And this is something I'm starting to feel more and more, but this is how our education system got so bad, I believe, because I remember in school asking that question and someone just said, well, you just need to do it. That is a bad answer. The reason I think that a lot of kids started asking that question, a lot of parents did, is because what was being taught was growing more and more useless every single year, year over year. So when someone asks nowadays, I think that is flipping now. And so when parents ask, how is this useful? And there is not an answer, that is no longer acceptable. That is no longer valid. And that I think is really good for the future of our entire education system, because there should be a clear answer to why is this useful?